So now we have our RESTful web service, that is user management app is ready, and can be used by anyone now. So the outer world which are going to use your service, they are expecting the documentation about your API, what it does and how it does, what request it is accepting and what response it is giving. Documentation is manual and tedious job which is very difficult and time taking. So in this video we are going to look into a tool, that is Swagger, which makes this tedious task easy by automating the documentation job. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how we can use this and what is it. Agenda, we are going to see what is Swagger, then we will see how we can add this in our project, and then we are going to see how we can test or use our API using this Swagger. Before moving ahead, just recap what we have done till now. We have built a RESTful service and we have used Spring Boot dev tools for hot swapping of the code, and then actuator, how we can monitor when our service is running. What is Swagger? Swagger takes the manual work out of API documentation and with a range of solutions for generating and visualizing and maintaining API documents. Most importantly, it easily integrates with Spring Boot project where we can use it. So how we can add this into our project? Swagger 2 specification, which is also known as Open API specification. This has many implementation. For our purpose, we are going to use Spring Fox implementation. So let's see, these are the dependencies that I need to add into our project. To this first one is just for writing uh, the configuration details which we want to expose to API documentation, and this second dependency is for visualizing your documentation. We will see in a while, it's very nice and easy to use. So here I already have added these two dependencies in our build.gradle. So this is the group name and this is the version. As of now latest is 292, so that is I am using. Other dependencies you can see, this is the actuator, this is the dev tools, and this is for securing our actuator endpoints. So for documentation I need to add one class and some configuration, so just go ahead and create the class. So I'm going to name it swagger config. Okay, so just move this into package config, so structure should be proper, right? So swagger config is there. So before this class I have to add configuration so that the beans that I'm going to define here gets detected automatically for auto wiring or auto configuration by Spring Boot. Second, I need to add enable Swagger 2. It is enabling the Swagger for my API, this user management API. Next, we are going to define one bean, docket. Swagger API documentation revolves around this docket. Swagger swag config. Okay, I can name it anything, that's not an issue. Okay, so I need to annotate it with b. So I'm going to create instance of docket. So before moving ahead, let's open the documentation of this docket and see what it is. A builder which is intended to be primary interface into the Spring Fox framework, provides sensible defaults and convenience method for configuration. So it is the kind of entry point for Spring Fox documentation, and we will give configuration inside this and it will work the rest of the things. So the configuration details are there, so I already have written that, so let me go ahead and put that. So this is the information. Great. New docket. Okay, this is the, and inside the I need to select the documentation type as Swagger. Okay, so just go ahead and import this. So it is imported now. So return it new and put the return type. Okay, so let's understand one by one. So new docket, this we are selecting the documentation type, which type it is, and then select, we are selecting, let's see what it is. So initiates a builder for API selection. It is giving me the method APIs, which is selecting the base package, which it is going to scan, and whatever their REST endpoint are there, it will document that. So for now, just don't be specific, just I'm going to select any controllers that are there in this user management app. When it is selected, just go ahead and build this. So basic configuration is ready for us. If I go and start our application, it will start, it will show me the Swagger configuration, and I will be able to see the documentation. Okay, let's go ahead and see. So our application is already running, so just I'm going to restart it. So one more thing, for a second, imagine we have, just consider we have only this dependency, Swagger 2, not the Swagger UI. So let's go ahead and restart this again to take that effect. Okay, application is starting now, so I can see. So see the console, it is showing me mapped URL with v2 API docs, and this is related to Swagger, our documentation. So let's go ahead and try to access this. Open Chrome. Okay, so what I am going to do, local host and this v2 API docs. Let's see what it is showing. Okay, so I can see here the JSON. So due to this web extension, it is showing in nice format. Otherwise, I could have get the jumbled data which we could not read. Okay, so here it is showing path, actuator, message from Solar, controller endpoint. It is the first controller it is showing me. Tags, this is the tag there, operation ID, this produces, and see these details are there. So users are there, user controller is there, and so basically it is detecting the REST endpoints that are there in controller, but it is showing in JSON format. So if I enable the Swagger UI, so then we will be able to access the UI part also, and it will be showing the nice format. So let's go ahead and enable this. Okay, so restart this after enabling it. Okay, server started now. Let's go ahead and access the URL. So I'm copying this and this, so v2 and Swagger UI.html. So this is it. So this is the URL. So see, okay, got it. So see, this UI I have got just by adding the one dependency. Okay, so this is the first controller and this is the second controller. Let me go ahead and show you the, if you're following the project, you could have seen this thing. So user controller is there, okay, and actuator endpoint, and one more is there which we defined the custom actuators for us. So this is also REST controller, get mapping. So it has detected both and had shown me the documentation. So what it is, so the method was of type get, the endpoint that we were accessing was message from Solar. Okay, so it was not taking any parameters. Okay, so this was this. Okay, let's go ahead and see the next one. So this was the user controller. We had defined here post method, put method, get method, and delete method. So see, add user, update user, get user, delete user, all the methods name you can see, and the endpoints user and what type it is going to see. So let me go ahead and add a user from this documentation. Okay, so this is the parameters and this name, description, user type it is. So what request it will be accepting, it will accept a JSON, and it is showing you the sample where which you can use. Okay, so if I select the model one, it is showing me the model. So it was kind of model. So we had defined address, ID and name which were of type string, so we can see that also. Okay, so this is the parameter content type, this is application JSON. So what if I, so earlier we used to give the post request, we needed another application, that is Postman, to put the post request. So if we have Swagger in our application for documentation, we can directly use this. So let's go ahead and try it out and add a single user. So address, suppose I'm giving Noida, ID 123 and name Green Learner. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. So I can see this button execute, and if I execute this, so application, this user will be added. So let's execute it, and what response I have got. So it is showing me the other options also, where I can post the request. If we have curl installed, curl UI, we can put this request, the same that we are passing from here. So we can use this, and this is the request URL, this is the response header that I am getting. So content length, date, and this is the location we were returning from our post method. So user 123. If I go to this URL, I can access the user that was added. So yeah, see, I got it right. So this was about adding the user. So this was the first one, so just close it. So if you select it, unselect it, so it automatically collapses and compresses when you select this URL, right? This thing. So let's go ahead and see the get one. So this was the section, this was accepting the this name, description, ID. This was the query path variable that it was taking. So if I select it, try it out, so it is accepting the ID. If I select the ID and execute it, so it will give me the response. Okay, if curl, same response it is saying. If I want to execute it from curl, we can go ahead and execute this URL. This is the request URL, and this is the response that we saw. We just added this user. Okay, this user, and we can download this also, this response, and response headers are there, response code 200. Okay, it is giving me. Okay, this is the example value, and apart from this, it is also giving the other response codes. If it is 401, what does it mean? Unauthorized. What does it mean? 403 forbidden, and 4. These are the default status codes that are added into the Swagger UI. We can see for the information purpose. Okay, so if I go ahead and this access get all user, try it out. So actually it was not taking any parameters, so there are nothing showing here. I just execute it, I can get the response here. So this only one user was there, so I get this user. Okay, so the same thing, other things are same. Okay, so let me go ahead and try other one. So before deleting, I want to update it. Okay, so suppose I want to update this user, so try it out. So same things are there. So address, I want to change it to Delhi. For which one? For ID 123, that is already in the system. So name, I want to give this dude. Okay, so just execute it. So it is giving me the response, Mr. Dude, Delhi. Okay, so Mr. Dude was already there, so it has added that one. So it, as per the logic, it has updated the details. Okay, if I go ahead and access this, I will get the updated details. Yeah, okay, got it. So let's go ahead and try the last one by deleting this one. So it is string, it is taking this parameter, and try it out section, mention 1 2 3 and execute it. So the data will be deleted. So yeah, generated this response, means this user has been deleted from the system. If I go ahead and access this, it will not show anything. ID null, name null, so because there was nothing in the system for this 123 user. Okay, so let's go ahead and put more users into the system. So Noida Green Learner 1, execute this. Okay, so Green Learner 1 for ID 4 3, execute this. So add one more user 4 1 1, execute it, and now go ahead and access get all users. So it should show me the different users, right? So just go ahead and execute this. So yeah, I am seeing this 3 users that we just added. I wanted to show this, that it is returning the proper response in list format. Okay, so you see all the endpoints are properly formatted here. Okay, so let's go ahead and try more configuration. So how we can customize this further. Okay, so at this point it was showing the details for both the controllers. Suppose I do not want to expose the documentation of this actuator. So how we can do this? Let's go ahead and this Swagger config that we were doing. So at this base package, it is scanning the package in entire thing that comes inside this. So let's go ahead and filter it further and add controller. So now it will scan this only, user management app and controller, user management app and this controller means this. So if I restart this, we won't be able to see actuator endpoint controllers. So just go ahead and build the project. Will restart the system automatically for me in very quick time. Build completed successfully and run also completed. So let's go ahead and refresh this. Okay, so yeah, the rest controller endpoint is gone and I am able to see only this user controller. So one more thing, models also I can see this user, what models are being used in what are the controllers that we are using. At one place I can see that. So these are the users and models. More stuffs, this API documentation name, these are the default ones that are coming. API documentation, terms of service, Apache, and this. What if I want to customize it also? So let's go ahead and do this. So I have to add the customization details here. To do that, we have .api info here, which will expect the information about API that is showing there in the header and part. So let's go ahead and add that data. This is basically a method where I'll be writing the API info details. Okay, so new API info, go ahead and add these details. So let's see what it is taking. Okay, so actually let's go ahead and inspect. So it has different constructors. This is API info, which is deprecated, and another one is this which is in active state. So what it is taking, it is taking title, description, version, terms of service, URL, contact, license version, and vendor, all these details. So let's go ahead and add that. So just to save time, I already have written some of the details. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this. Okay, so I'm coming here, user swagger config, new API info, and adding this. So here I'm going to add this new contact information, which is green learner, and next it will ask me for the website. So where which website I need to give. So let's go ahead and let's give the URL, any URL I can give. Okay, so suppose I'm giving the YouTube URL, and next is yes, URL and email ID. Okay, so email ID I can give so green learner01@gmail.com. So this contact information is complete now. Okay, contact is complete, license URL, and there is one more thing, it expects vendor extension. So I can give it any array list. Okay, so that will be sufficient for me. So just put this thing and return new, and this is it. So it is still expecting something from me. Okay, what is that? Missing return statement. Okay, so just put the return statement here. Now it's okay, it's working fine. Correct. So now API info I have added. So let's go ahead and restart the application and see the changes in the UI. Okay, the server has started. So let's go ahead and refresh our page and see the changes. Okay, so here is our API documentation. Let's refresh this. Okay, now I can see the changes, right? User management REST API documentation for this, terms of service, green learner website. I can see send email to green learner. When you click it will open the mailbox, MIT license, website, I can go here. It will redirect to the URL that you had given. So I have given this green learner page, our page channel, so it is showing that. Okay, so this way we can do this customization. Also there are many more customization that you can go ahead and explore. If you want to make video on Swagger more, let me know in the comment section with a specific feature. I'll be happy to make that. Okay, so this Swagger part is done for our purpose. This will be sufficient. Let's go ahead and see what is next. So we have tested our API now. So what the references? So these are the references that you can go ahead and try it out and explore more. What next is coming? So next we are going to see properties and YAML. So both are to give the static details and all this, which play very important role in services. So we will see in the next section. Okay, so one more thing, I wanted to tell you about the code. So this is the URL from Microservices Git repo where I'm pushing the codes, all the codes. Okay, so you go ahead and clone or download this repository and go navigate to this folder, and this is your project actually. Okay, so you can run the Gradle build command here and all these things. All the similar detail you can get here also, how to set up this and all these things. Okay, so if you find any issue in executing the code and any other thing related to microservices, let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you out. So enjoy, see you in the next video. Bye bye.